All right, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to my channel. Brand new year 2025, and we got our first e-bike to review. This is from vanpowers. This is a GrandTeton. This is the Pro model, not the Ultra one. The Ultra one is a little bit more high-end, a little bit more expensive. This one is coming in at $17.99. I could probably save you guys some money on this bike, but don't go out and buy it yet. Let's wait until we finish the end of this video. You guys have to see the components on here to understand what's going on, because they have some nice hardware on this bike. And it's also a bike if you want to be legal on the road, because all the California laws going on right now. This thing does have a legal 750 watt motor in the back, 130 Newton meters of torque, because this bike is pretty light. It's around the 70-pound range. I'll show you guys when I sit on it and lift it up. It's really not heavy at all. It has a 48-volt system. This is a 14.7 amp hour battery right down here. I'll pull that out and I'll show you guys in a little bit. You have a nice headlight. You got some integrated brake lights back here. You got an upgraded Q shifting system. You got 9 speeds on this thing. This bike does only go up to 20 miles an hour though. Keep that in mind. When you do get it, throttle only up to 20 miles an hour, so it ships out as a class 2 e-bike. If you want to go to a class 3, you got to download the app. You got to accept all the acknowledgement stuff like that. Very easy to do. Took me 5 minutes, and you can get this thing to 28 miles an hour if you use the pedals. Now, something about the pedals is that it has a torque sensor. There's not a cadence sensor like most bikes, so I'll show you guys that later when we get into the riding review. Super nice if you want to actually work out on this bike instead of just sitting there and just using the throttle to get up to speed, but it does make this bike legal. So without further ado, I gotta bring you guys in here with the camera. You guys gotta check out this bike because it is absolutely awesome, and then we'll go out to the riding footage and see how it is, and by the end of this video I'll let you guys know how I feel about it. So without further ado, let's get in here. Starting off in the front, looking at these tires, they're 26 inches tall by 4 inches wide. They're CTS brand. They do have a little bit of tread pattern on there, so they're going to be good for the street and also good for off-roading. Now, to stop this bike with the huge fat tires on here, we're rocking 203 millimeter rotors front and back with Teton hydraulic brakes. On the front fork, you get 120 millimeters of travel. You get a lockout on the right-hand side, and then you get a preload adjustment on the left-hand side. All right, so let's move on to the battery. It does come with 2 different keys. It also comes with the app to download with a QR code, which is super nice. And then just comes with a regular thing if you want to put it on your keys, if you separate them, which I highly suggest. I would definitely put one of these keys like locked away somewhere, and then I'd use the other key to use your bike if you need it. So all you do is got to turn it to the left, and then you have a little latching mechanism right here that you just drop down, and this thing just pulls right out. All the specs that you might want to see on that battery, again, 14.7 amp hours, 48 volt. So not the hugest battery out there, but it definitely makes this bike nice and nimble. And you also do have a little button on the top where you guys can see the battery charge, and then basically it just snaps right in. You don't need the keys or anything like that. You can also put a secondary battery if you want right here, and it can plug into this port right here, which is the charging port. It uses a nice little waterproof connector. It's nice and rubber. Here's a look at the charger if you guys wanted to know that. And then right next to that, you have a class 2 badge that says 750 watts, 20 miles an hour, so you should be okay with the cops. Moving on to the back of the bike, you can see our integrated brake lights along with our adjustable kickstand down there, our other 203 millimeter rotor. Also, our bike rack is attached to it as well. It came installed on the bike, which is super nice. But the brake lights, really quick, let me turn the headlight button on, which turns on the brake lights. And if you do hit the brake levers on either side, they do flash. So it's a nice safety emergency thing, so people should definitely be drawn to that. They definitely look really bright. I'll turn the lights off in a second so we can see that, and the headlight as well. Now with the lights off, you guys get a better idea of how bright they are in a pitch black garage. I do have one little light above me just so I can at least see what I'm doing. Here's a look at the headlight as well. It looks very bright. It's real centered, not as wide as I was thinking it was gonna be, but it should definitely be seen when you're going straight. You probably just won't be able to see on the sidewalk or see kind of on the other side of the street. Here is the lights. When I hold the brake lever, you can see it flashes. Looks legit. I really like the lights on this bike, especially being integrated and not an extra light with an extra cable coming out of the bike. Now onto the bike rack. This thing has a max load of 25 kilograms. That means 55 pounds for you Americans out there. You can see that it bolts to the bike on the back side of the brake light, and then you have one bolt on this side Very, very clean setup. Which brings us to our next part of this bike, which is a 9-speed. This is the Q's 4000 1X 9-speed, and it has a nice derailleur guard as well. I almost forgot to put this on because it was in a separate box, so make sure you don't lose that. It is a very, very nice touch. I heard this shifting mechanism is absolutely brilliant, especially when you're putting force into the pedals. It's supposed to be nice and smooth, so we're just gonna have to find out. Now here's a look at that chain up front. Now you do have a guard on the right hand side, but on the inner side there is no guard, so the chain could technically pop off if you do have a lot of bumpy roads you go over, like something massive. You do have this plastic guard right here, a very nice touch. It's also up here as well, and it's integrated so nicely so your chain isn't going to slap and make a bunch of noise while riding. So I noticed underneath the bike, this thing has a speaker. Now, I don't know if that works or not. I've seen some videos of people talking about this, but I want to say it's for the Ultra only. I don't think it's for the Pro. But it is crazy that this thing has a speaker, and I think it's like a theft deterrent, so it would alarm and it would beep and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think we have that on this. And I believe this is to access something in there because the speaker is right underneath this, but I tried taking this thing off and I felt like I was gonna break it, so I'm just gonna leave that alone. Here's a look at the handlebar setup. You got some really nice grips right there. Your thumb throttle is on the left-hand side. This is your menu button right here. Plus and minus goes up in assist. If you hold the power in the eye, that gets into the advanced settings. And then here is your nice little display. Very minimalistic. I love it actually. It's not big and bulky, but I can definitely see what's on there. And then you do have your Q's 9-speed over here, and it uses your thumb and your index finger to shift. Super nice setup. Very low bars though, keep in mind, so you will be hunched over, so it depends if you like that or not, but it feels good for me. So I want to show you guys the display. I know I talked about it a little bit. Here is your plus button to go up. So you got eco mode, you got sports mode, you got boost mode, and that's the highest you can go, nothing above that. But you can go all the way down to off, and you can pedal this bike like a normal bike if you want, because it's a very light bike and you have all the gears on that Q system, so you won't have any issues pedaling this bike as a normal e-bike, especially if the battery dies, because it is, again, 14.7 amp hours. But anyways, if you hold the power and the I button, you can get into the custom settings and you can clear the trip, yes, if you want. Display units, mile per hour or kilometers per hour. Brightness on the display, I have it at 5, that's the highest, but you could also go to auto and you can see that it dimmed down because I am in a bright room right now in my garage with my lights. Then you can go to auto power off. This is basically how long you want the bike to sit before it completely turns off by itself if you leave it running. The next thing is the auto headlights. So I have those on, so that means if I am on a dark room, like I turn the lights off right now, the lights will automatically come on. I think that's a nice feature. Language, you could change that, English, French, Spanish, whatever. Speed limit, this is where I have class 3 as a listing right there, but you guys aren't gonna have that until you download the app and connect it. There is a QR code right here. Once you download the app, you scan it. We'll get into that in a little bit, but right now I have mine in class 3, so it will go to 28 miles an hour in pedaling. I can set the time because right now the time is not accurate. You can set a password on the bike to turn on with a password. Here's that QR code I was telling you to scan with the app, and it will connect your bike to the app to change it. And you could do your trips and everything like that. It's an app where people could comment and leave stuff and whatnot, and take pictures. Pretty cool. Then you can reset everything on here and go back. This is display information, and then you basically exit and go back to the main screen. All right, last but not least, I want to let you guys know that I am 5'9", and this is how the bike looks next to me. I'll kick the kickstand up in a second and sit on it. I do have the seat almost at the lowest spot. There's probably like that much more to go down. I like riding my seats with the seat pretty low. That's just me personally. I see a lot of people ride like this. I'm 163 pounds, just to give you guys an idea before we throw on the GoPro and go take it for a spin, so you guys can see how fast it picks up based on my weight and then compared to yours. Picking up this bike though, I told you I was gonna do that, and it's very nice. It's not that heavy at all. Gonna be very nice for bike racks and traveling with. It does feel a little tiny bit more heavier in the back, and I think it's because you have your motor and the rear rack back here, but you also have your battery kind of closer to the front and kind of in the middle a little bit, so it actually balances out very well. Let me kick the kickstand up. Let's sit on this bike. I'll show you though, it's not gonna be for the shortest people because again, the seat is almost at its lowest spot, and if I try to flat foot this, my feet are actually floating off the ground. So I gotta be a little bit on my tippy toes to be on this bike. But this is kind of how I look at it. At 5'9", not too shabby. Feels really nice of a bike. I like the seating position. The seat is kind of small though, so I'm gonna see how this feels. It does have a nice little inner curve right here, but I'm worried that the seat is gonna be a little rough when you ride, but I guess we're just gonna find that out, aren't we? All right guys, so the moment you have been waiting for, the moment I've been waiting for, let's get on the GoPro, let's go out there, have some fun, and see how this bike feels. We'll also go off-road a little bit for you guys. All right, let's get out there, let's go. All right guys, we are out here with the action cam. First time riding this on a public road. I took it up and down my street a few times to kind of test it out, and I was loving it. So right now we got our speed meter up here, so we're gonna be doing our range and everything like that to see what it's gonna be by the end of this trip. I like the fact that I've noticed that every single one of these modes, I'm in eco mode right now because I don't really want to pedal, but it does have a slow pickup in eco mode. But regardless, the thumb throttle will go up to 20 miles an hour in every single mode. Most bikes, if you noticed, when you have it in like number 1, it only goes up to like 6 miles an hour. You have it in number 2, it goes up to 12 miles an hour, and so on and so on. This one does not matter. Every single mode goes up to 20 miles an hour. So that's how eco mode feels right now. What I want to do is I want to slow down and I want to put it into sports mode. Let's see how that feels. 1, 2, 3. All right. A little bit more of a boost, you know, nothing crazy, which is the next mode we're going to get into is boost mode. Yeah, it definitely, oh, there we go, 21 miles an hour. Oh, dang, we're breaking the law just a little bit. All right, so the next mode we're gonna go up to after that is what I said, boost mode. Yeah, this is where you get all the power, baby. More power, 1, 2, 3. All right, still a little tiny bit delay between 1 and 2 mile per hour, but yeah, look, 20 miles an hour already. Yeah, so definitely a big jump from eco to boost. You can get 60 miles of range out of this bike, but realistically that is on the lower eco mode, and that is with pedaling as well. So I'm probably not gonna get anywhere close to that. It's a 14.7 amp hour battery, so I'm realistically thinking I'll probably get about 20 miles of range because it is a light bike at the end of the day, and it doesn't have that much power. So that's where I'm kind of thinking, but again, stay tuned to the end of the video so we can check everything out. And we're gonna go with this car and go with the flow of traffic instead of sitting there. Yeah, boost mode feels great. Now, if you unlock this thing to class 3, we should be able to use the torque sensor pedals. So let's go, 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, we're now class 3. Oh man. This torque sensor really makes you work. Damn. Holy moly. I am in gear number 9. I'm in the tallest gear I can go up to. And I have so much resistance. I am so connected to this bike. I'm trying to hit 28 miles an hour. Come on. My legs are burning. Oh, I feel the burn. Oh my God. Oh, 26, I can't do it. I can't do it. I saw 27. Oh, there's 27. Woo, all right, let me save my energy because wow. So if I want to pedal like normal, see, look, this is what a cadence sensor, if I just pedal like this, I'd get all the power possible, but I'm not. This is definitely going to go off of how hard you pedal. So man, this bike is definitely a workout at the end of the day. Oh yeah, nice and smooth though. Very smooth bike. The grips feel absolutely insane. Like, I love the texture on them. They feel really good to like not like slide off your hands. They're not those cheap plastic ones you normally get. They also lock in place as well. The thumb throttle being on the left side is a little weird, but it's because you have your shifter and everything over here, so it takes up a lot of room. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is that if you do hit this I button at any point in time, it will tell you your trip, your odometer you have on the bike, your trip time. I've been out here for 4 minutes so far. Range that you have left to the battery, it says 37 miles. So that's good to know. Average power I've been using is 162 watts. Calories I burn, because I pedaled, 52 calories. Hey, let's go, I'm losing weight. Average speed 18.6, max speed it says 27.3. That seemed very accurate to this as well, which is super nice. And it says I'm down to 95% battery. That's not too bad. And then you do have a walking mode, so if you want to walk this bike, you hold the minus button and look, it will walk with you up to about 3 or 4 miles per hour. So you could do that if you want. And again, let's get back into the main settings. Here we go. Oh, we got to pedal. We got to go faster to make this green light. Let's go, let's go. I made it. I think we're going to use the throttle most of the time on this trip because I don't want to get burnt out and get super tired, because this is definitely a workout bike. We're going to do some heavy breathing, and that's probably not what you guys want to hear on this video. So we're going to take it pretty chill, but when I do get into my speed test, we're going to use the throttle and the pedals together and see how fast we can go. I actually don't even know if you can use the pedals and the throttle. Can you? Okay, no. So you have to pick and choose. So if I want to use the throttle, I can use the throttle up to 20, and then I can switch to the pedal. So we'll do that. But then I'll also do a test where I'll go through the gears as well, and we'll see how fast we can get up to. All right, we are in the designated speed test, but there are a lot of people coming, so let's see what happens. So I'm gonna use the throttle and then switch over to the pedals. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Yeah, boost mode feels great. That definitely picked up. All right, we're almost there, switch. All right, that guy got scared. Oh yeah, this thing jams. It hit about like 27. Is that? MrCentralDriver.
How many subscribers you got?
Almost 100,000.
Dang! What? He has almost 100,000 subscribers. How fast is this?
About 28.
You recording right now?
Yeah.
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up?
You gonna make a video?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh yeah.
You do some tricks on that thing or what?
Nope.
Oh.
Alright, well, we're gonna get out of here.
Yeah. All right, we ran into some fans. I kind of expected that to happen. There was a lot of people on this trail, so I wasn't able to do the other tests that I was talking about. But you guys get the idea of how fast this bike is. But I will test out the pedals right here. So I will drop it down into gear number 1, and we're gonna blow through these gears, and we're gonna see how well this performs. So here we go, no throttle. Oh shit. Damn, this thing picked up. I'm already in gear 4, gear 5, gear 6. Okay, I got some resistance. 7, 8, and 9. Whoa, 9 is a tall gear, wow. Here we go, can I get my 28 miles an hour? 28, yes, we did it. 28 miles an hour. Let's go. I was on a slight decline, but it still counts. Oh, that is awesome. All right, let me drop the gears down because we are coming up to the hill test, and we're gonna see how well this thing performs. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna try this with boost mode, throttle only, and then we're going to use the pedals and see how well it comes up here. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. No problem at all. Not the fastest bike to get up a hill, but definitely very nice. It's very clean power, no jerkiness, just nice and smooth. So now we're gonna do that test again using the pedals. I am in gear number 2, just keep that in mind because 1 felt very low. But it is nice that you have that mode just in case for whatever reason. But here we go, we're gonna start in 2. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, whoa! Holy crap, that was no effort at all. That was absolutely insane. That thing just climbed the hill. Wow, that was way better than the throttle. They gotta do that one more time. What the, look at this. Look at that. Wow, that is impressive. Absolutely impressed. That's wild. Such a powerful bike, and you would not think it has that much power. I've had bikes that have 2,000, 3,000 watt motors on them. Granted, they have a huge battery and they weigh a shit ton, but wow, this thing went up at no problem. Now it is a little bumpy. You don't have rear suspension. The suspension in the front is nice. I do have these tires aired up to 28 PSI out of the 30 max that they go up to. So if I wanted to get a little bit more comfort, I could drop them down to say 22 or so. Out of the box, they came at 10, so they were very low, but they were still rideable. I was able to take it up and down the street on 10 PSI. So again, you could probably go down probably 15, 16 PSI if you're gonna be riding stuff like this, but it's really gonna kill your range with not having an aired up tire. But it's not too bad. It's obviously not crazy bumpy, but not having rear suspension, it's not the most comfortable e-bike I've ridden off-road, but it feels solid. And it's not hurting my hands at all. Like you would think like a bumpy bike like this with no rear suspension, my hands would be hurting. I have no gloves on right now, but no, this is awesome. No complaints out here at all. I really like the front suspension. Real nice and plush. There's no like noise coming from it. It's just nice and fluid motion. I mean, these shocks are awesome. I have the preload all the way down to the lowest setting. You can adjust that too based on your weight and whatnot. And then of course, on the right-hand side, you can lock out the suspension if you want. So if you're on a solid road and you don't want it to go up and down, you can do that. But me personally, why would you want to do that? I don't know. But man, your boy is out of breath, but I want to go a little faster. So we're gonna pedal through this, see how it is just going a little tiny bit faster. This is where the bumpy section is at on this corner. Let's see how it is. Ooh, all right. Oh no, that was actually not that bad. And I didn't even come out of my seat. I thought I was gonna come out of my seat at least a little bit, but I didn't. So it seems like the sweet spot for this bike pedaling, if you don't wanna be out of breath and you're just moving it like a normal person, you get about 24 miles per hour. And if you wanna go faster than that, you really have to put in some effort. Like right now, look, I am smashing on this torque sensor and it should little by little go up, but wow, does that use a lot of leg power. So 24, maybe 23, that's the average speed you're gonna get comfortably without killing yourself. The next thing I'd like to show you guys is a turning test on this bike. And first off, I'll let you know that this bike is well balanced, it's stable. I'm not going super fast right now, but still, I'm not having any issues keeping the bike up. It turns nice. It doesn't turn as sharp as a bike that has smaller, skinnier tires. You do put a little bit of effort into it, but there's no weight behind the effort in turning, so that's good. So no problems with that. And again, with the fat tires, you get a little bit more comfort out of it compared to a skinny tire that's maybe 2 inches wide or maybe 2.5 inches wide. And then also, let's see what the turning test making U-turns is. So I'm on the side of this sidewalk, and here is a U-turn. I can almost stay on the complete side of where I started at. Now, it's probably gonna go in the dirt a little bit, but it's not too bad on making U-turns. Now, here's the turning radius. So that's as far as it goes to the right. It's as far as it goes to the left. Nothing's really getting in the way. It's not hitting anything. You're not gonna have any issues. Like, this is not coming in contact with the body. So that's nice. Another thing too, if I didn't mention it already, this bike does come with touch-up paint. So if you do get any type of scratch on it, I have silver touch-up paint for this. Even though you do have these little black like weave lines and stuff, it makes it look really cool. You might have to paint over a little bit of that depending on where the nick's at, but that's a very nice touch they put in the box is touch-up paint. Where the company really gives you touch-up paint for their bike, I really think that's nice. The next thing we gotta try to do is the braking test, and we're just gonna have to see. This guy's on the wrong side of the road. Thanks, buddy, I appreciate it. All right, let me try to get up to 25 as fast as I can because we're coming up to it. Here we go. I mean, this is as fast as I can go. 1, 2, 3. Woo! That suspension really worked, man. We did slide a lot though. These brakes locked up. I mean, they stopped great, but the tires, I think, were holding us back because we really slid. So if we stop at this line or behind it, it's one of the better stopping e-bikes, but we're really close to this line. I was hoping it was gonna be a little bit better with the 203 millimeter rotors, but I really think the brakes did their job, but the tires are just sliding. So you can definitely see our line. So not probably the best, but maybe if we had more of a street tire on here, maybe it'd stop a little bit better, but it is what it is. I mean, you're still gonna be safe and stop, no problem. It's better than having 160 or 180 millimeter rotors on this bike, so I give it a pass. It still stopped behind the line. It just, I thought I was gonna do a little tiny bit better. Now, one thing I've been noticed while riding this thing, and you can always move this, but this is really kind of digging into my thumb a little tiny bit, so you might want to slide this over if you want your hand to be more closer to the inner side. If you want to have your hand way out here, that's perfectly fine. You see all that clearance I got. But I like to have my hand right here, and this just keeps rubbing. So I could always have my hand like this, but that kind of feels awkward when I'm not using the shifter. So just something to think about. let's come around this thing. The pedals don't come that close to the ground, so we're perfectly fine on pedaling. Don't have to worry about that. Lots of ground clearance, especially with these huge tires. But look at this, coming up this hill, pedaling with this torque sensor, I mean, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I swear, this does way better than some of those cheaper e-bikes that have even more power. The only thing you're not getting out of this is the top speed, but you definitely have all the torque you need for most areas. Even San Francisco, if you just use the pedals with the torque sensor, you'll be good. Sitting at lights like this, I gotta be on one foot. It feels more better to put like one foot on the pedal, one foot on the ground, because it's such a tall bike. Now let's see if we can get away from this traffic. Let's see. Oh damn, everyone's hauling ass, okay. All right, I thought we were gonna be able to stay with traffic for just a little bit, but no, everyone's in a rush. Well, let's see how fast we go down the overpass. 29, 30. We're breaking the law right now, baby. Gotta love having that momentum of a hill. That's awesome. We're holding 30 for a while too, let's go. Hell yeah. Getting more power out of this bike. This has 31 over here and no green light. It would have been very nice to blow through this traffic that was hauling ass, you know what I'm saying? So the next thing I like to do on my video reviews is show you guys a throttle response using the throttle, whatever it is, half twist throttle, full throttle, thumb throttle. And then I want to show you guys how sensitive the pedals are as well. So here we go. Let's try out the throttle first. 1, 2, 3. So it's decently gradual. It starts giving you the power within a second, but you can even see the bar on here kind of slowly ramp up, and that's your power. So watch this, check this out, 1, 2, 3. So there's like a 1 second delay, and that's all the power that we're getting out of the bike, that little red bar. And as we're getting closer to 20, look, it starts going away, and now it's gone. So it's not the most responsive throttle. I even noticed that when I was starting at lights with traffic that I would hit it, and there was a slight delay, and then it started getting into the power. Let's try the pedals out and see. I should have probably done that to begin with. Yeah, the pedals, that gives you more power. So let's go down a little bit because I want to go slower. So let's try the pedals one more time. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, definitely faster than the thumb throttle by far. So if you need to take off somewhere, use the pedals instead of the throttle. But one thing you're gonna have to remember is that you're gonna wanna drop it down into like gear 2 or so, or 1, when you leave a light. You don't want to start in gear 9 because you're not really going to go anywhere. But those pedals activate very fast, and it looks like it gave us more max power. It looked like our max power on throttle only went up maybe to 80%. And then when I used the pedals, they went to 100%. That bar was all the way at the very top. So far on this trip, the seat actually hasn't felt that bad. Now, it's not the best seat I've ever been on. It definitely hurts compared to other seats, like moped style seats, but compared to most bikes that have seats like this is actually one of the better ones. I'm not having too many complaints with it right now. I can use this probably all the way until the battery dies, which, let's see where our battery's at right now. 76%. And let's see how far we went. My phone says 6.8 miles. And let's see what the bike says. I'm curious to see if the bike's like more accurate or not. It says that our range is about, on throttle, 29 miles that we can get left, which is absolutely crazy. I don't know if that's gonna be realistic or not, but I mean, it seems like we're making good progress. Let's see. Okay, so 7.5 miles, and this says 6.9. So let's go around 7 miles so far, and I have 75%. So 7 miles to 75% battery. That's 1/4 of the battery. You guys can do the math on that. That's probably what, like 28 miles or so. But realistically, when you start getting close to that last 20% battery, you're probably gonna be going a little bit more slower. And you also don't want this bike to turn off. If this bike, for whatever reason, let's say shut off on you right now. You lost your battery, everything's gone, right? Can you pedal? And yes, let me drop it down because gear 9 is way too high. But there we go. I am in gear 6 or 5, somewhere around there. And it feels perfectly fine. This feels like a normal bike to pedal, like a BMX bike or something like that. A little bit more heavier. Back in my day, our BMX bikes were about 40 something pounds. We had triple wall rims on them. They're all chrome and like, so they didn't bend or nothing like that. But This is not too bad if you actually had to pedal it as a regular bike. Now, one thing I'm curious to know is I'm gonna drop these gears down, and this gear system should be really good if you're standing on the bike and mashing on the pedals, and it should shift perfectly fine. So let's try that out. Let's go, let's go. Yep. Oh, wow, this is nice and smooth. Okay, I felt a little jump from that one, but yeah, only one gear out of all the ones I went had like a little skip to it. But wow, it was actually pretty good. Not too bad. Definitely burned some calories there. Oh, this is a fantastic bike though. I love the components on it. It's all high-end stuff. This is stuff that you don't get on the cheaper Chinese bikes. You know, one thing I wanted to test out that I haven't done yet is if I'm pedaling going 23 and use a throttle, what happens? Oh, it cuts my power. What happens if I use the throttle and go right into the pedals? Okay, it's instant. So that's a good thing. Going from the throttle, wherever you let off, 10 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour, the pedals will work instantly. There's no delay. As long as you start pedaling before you let off of the throttle, there is no delay. So check this out, watch. Pedaling, let off. I didn't lose a single bit of power. It's nice and smooth. That is awesome. Most bikes, actually, most of all bikes cannot do that. All right, guys, so welcome to the end of the video after I just got done riding, and I'll say I did 9.9 miles. That's what it's saying on my phone. That's pretty much 10 miles, all right? Let's just say 10 miles. We're not gonna argue the 0.1 of a mile. On the bike, I wanna make a correction though. When I was going off of the range and stuff like that, that was on the odometer. That wasn't on the actual trip, because I told you I took it up and down the street a little bit just to kind of test it out and see how the bike was. Make sure I unlocked it correctly as well before I started this video. So the trip actually says we did 10.1 miles. That equals very close to my GPS. So that is absolutely accurate to me. That's just pulling hairs at that point. That is pretty much spot on to me. So yeah, so 10 miles, and it says we can get another 25 miles of range based on your average, like it goes off of your average power that you're using, and that's what it's saying we'll get. But I can tell you that, let's see, 65% left on the battery. If I do go through here, my average power I used on the whole trip was 623 watts. I burned 600 calories on this trip. My max speed was 31.3 miles an hour, which obviously was downhill, but yeah, let's go. We're breaking the law with this thing going 28 miles an hour. This is the limit here in California with all the e-bike laws, but no one's gonna sweat you going down an overpass or a hill. I mean, that's just, obviously that's momentum power, you know, so they can't get you for that. But average speed was 19 miles an hour. Awesome, fun bike. Honestly, this was a great bike. The seat could be a little bit better. I love the fenders. I love the headlight. We're gonna do a separate video and check out the headlight and the brake light at night. I'll take it to work, and we'll do a night riding footage and all that kind of stuff. So subscribe if you guys wanna see that, like the video, save it, bookmark it somewhere so you guys can come back to the channel, because the next video I'm gonna do is going to be going back and forth to work. The power on the bike is great. It's perfect for this bike. I mean, I had enough power to go where I wanted to. It's not going to blow your socks off or anything like that if you're used to, say, like an Onyx RCR or a Lyric Graffiti X or a Sur-Ron, or even the Roadrunner. Even the small little Roadrunner back here is definitely more powerful, but this is a bike made for just riding, being safe, you know, having enough power, having the proper, like, all the stuff that's on here is legit. Like, all the parts on here are absolutely way better than most of all these e-bikes I have back here. They're the proper stuff you need on here, and it feels very nice in the hands, and everything felt well built and thought out and stuff, and that's kind of what you're paying for, especially the integrated brake lights. That's awesome. I highly recommend it. Again, check the links down in the description if you guys want to buy this thing. I don't think the speaker worked. I tried seeing if I can get the speaker work. I don't know if anyone knows how to. I think that might just be an Ultra, because this is the Pro, so maybe this one doesn't have it, but it's the same frame, so maybe it's built in there, but it's not activated on this one. But I love you guys. You guys are the true MVPs of the channel for sticking around to the end, and my cat's gonna say bye. Come on, say bye, kitty. Are you gonna say bye to everybody? Oh, there you go. Oh, okay, I'll feed you. All right, guys, I gotta go. This cat's hungry. Have fun, be safe out there.